up, my Vina loves? It's Miss Vina D coming to you all from Vina Team and News. Before I jump into the real reason of this bonus episode, I quickly want to say one of the first comments on season 3, episode 1 was, "It's just a costume." Now, I'm not singling you out. I'm not upset or anything like that. I decided to go to Bryan page so you guys can, and Rachel page, so some of you could see what they go through and how disgusting it is on their pages. To you, it's just a costume. I'm making a YouTube video about it, and I spent almost 2 minutes talking about something that some people see as just a costume. But when you went, and if you watch the show, you will see that Bryan, people tried to break him, tried to get him out of whatever character they felt he was in, but he wasn't having it. He stayed true to himself, and because of that, people call him a player and all of that. So that's why this costume was hilarious, because they were playing into the names that people were calling them. So I'm going to go ahead and include some of these comments. So for those who were thinking, "Damn, Miss Vina, you didn't have to give us almost 5 minutes of just a simple costume." I went into 2 minutes because it's deeper than that. And I just want to give you guys a glimpse of something that's supposed to be just a costume, just to see a glimpse of what the length that people went through under this man and his fiancé image. This is in no way, shape, or form of me going to dig up negativity. Absolutely not. I just want to show what they go through on a daily basis, even though for now they have been ignoring it. That's where I was coming from when I decided to go into that long detail about Bryan. So hopefully those who are thinking it's just a costume now have a glimpse of something that's supposed to be a simple look for Halloween turn into what it turned into, and why I felt the need to give details to why Bryan wore what he wore, and why he wasn't super creative with it, because he just wanted to have fun. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on. We are going to go ahead and retire this person from this channel. We are not going to be talking about this person anymore. If I ever talk about this person, it's only because they probably said something so terrible about my girl, and I had to jump in and do one of my classic clapbacks. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into the negativity, but that's the only reason why. I tried to ignore this. I recorded a bonus episode when the interview first was completed. I tried to ignore it, but I still see the comments about it, and also DMs about it. So let's go ahead and talk about it, and then let's do our best to please retire this person. Because if we are saying he's negative towards Rachel, he's a hater, he's this and he's that, but we keep feeding into it, we keep talking about it, then we are also contributing to that. So let's just talk about it one last time, and let's just retire this guy, because it looked like he just retired himself and ended his own 15 seconds career because he came for a man who have the power to keep him on TV. So he was doing an interview, Demario, the idiot, whatever you guys call him, Rosebud's podcast, okay? And they asked him during that interview, well, before they got to Chris Harrison, they asked him about Rachel. His first response was great. He said no comment. Then he got into saying that he don't understand why Rachel is so mad at him. And for a man, he's claimed Rachel is jealous of him because he was only on her episode for a few seconds, but his name is all over the press. Every time he take a picture, he's all over the blogs. All right, and then he talked about Rachel's season being low. Rachel's season, as far as the viewers goes, the ratings being low. So let's talk about jealousy. Demario needs to understand that you're in the blog for alleged rape, okay? You're in the blogs for alleged rape or sexual assault. That's not something I don't think anyone would want to be in the blogs about. You make the blogs because of what happened on the show with Lexi. Demario claimed that Lexi was planted and it was fake. Like I said in the previous episode, if she was planted and it was fake, then it was your time to quit the show right there and then go on your tour after the show, talking about how the show is fake and she was planted. You never met her before. We're going to get into him talking that about the girl being fake. So that's one thing. Then he went in on Rachel, how Rachel was calling around, telling her friends it's either her or Demario, but they can't be friends with both. Now, even if this is true, I don't see any problem with it. When I'm your friend, now I'm more reserved when it comes to friendship. I don't tell my friends everything. That's just me. It's not no trust issues or whatever. I just feel like if I have to ever say to someone, what I'm about to tell you cannot be repeated, then I need to take my own advice and keep it to myself. But I love my friends though, but I'm just more reserved when it comes to my friendships. Now, but friendship, the definition of a really close best friend, you share everything, you tell them everything, right? I wouldn't want to have a friendship with someone who's friends with someone who despises me. I'm supposed to trust you and tell you my secrets, my thought process, my relationship issues, whatever the case might be. I'm supposed to expect for you to come for me and be there for me, and don't expect you that when you're with the other person who despises me to turn around and blur something out that you probably did not mean, but then say it to them. I don't want to be in a comfortable situation. I don't want to have to invite you and say, but you can't invite that other person. No. So, if we're not on the same page, then you go and have an amazing life. And there's nothing wrong with you going to have an amazing life. I don't hate you. I'm just not going to put myself into a situation that's not good for me. So I don't see any problem if Rachel did that. Okay. Then the whole thing about Rachel's season ratings being low. Now let's get into this. First of all, I'm going to bring race into it. Okay. A lot of black people, according to the numbers, really are not into the Bachelor franchise. Bachelorette. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm black. I love the show. I have black friends that love the show. But as far as when you put the numbers together, yeah, it's not a lot of us that are fans of the show. The only thing that changed about the show is that Rachel complexion and who she is was black. That's it. It was the same format, the same everything. So if you are not a fan of the show and you try to give it a chance because a black woman was on it, but if you felt like it was a boring show, then nothing is going to change because Rachel had to follow the same format, giving out roses, going on date. Eventually it's like, okay, sister, sis, I support you and all that, but I just can't hang. That's one. The second thing is, A lot of racist, yes, I'm sorry, but it's true. Racist people watch the show. So when they saw a black woman on there, a lot of them got mad. Really? You're going to bring a black woman on the show? As far as being the lead, a bachelorette, not a black woman that's in being on the Bachelor, because we've seen, 150 white girls and the black girl thrown in there just to say, hey, look at us. We, include black people. But anyways, back to Rachel. So it made sense. You see, why couldn't I, be the one interviewing these people on these podcasts? Because it looks like when these people come and they say what they have to say on these podcasts, the hosts, most of them just either sit there, agree with them, don't rebuttal with tough questions. Because I would have said to Demario, as a black man, you should understand that Rachel had odds against her because number one, because Demario, they talk about racism in America. So that would have been a perfect segue for the host to say, on your point about racism, why are you so hard on Rachel ratings being the lowest in a franchise? One, she's black. There you go right there. A lot of white people watch the show. So of course they didn't watch Rachel because they felt like she did not represent them and did not feel like she deserved to be on that platform. That's real talk. That's the time we're living in right now. But of course, they did not ask him those tough questions. And then I would have asked Demario, because Demario did say in the interview that he doesn't understand why Rachel cares about little old him, when she should be somewhere out there dancing, living her best life and having fun. Well, that right there, either he was trying to fake it because he also brought up her BET interview. So that means he is following what Rachel is doing. But she is living her best life. She is dancing and having fun. But, and if I was that interviewer also, I would have said, yeah, she is. Go to her Instagram. Maybe he's blocked. But I am sure he talked about reading the comments and things like that. I'm 100% positive he followed all the pages and see what Bryan and Rachel are up to. So that's what he had to say about Rachel. Now, let me go ahead and read exactly what he had to say about Chris Harrison. When they asked him in that interview, what was his thought process about Chris Harrison, you always hear this saying, don't bite the hand that feed you. And you know what? Karma is just interesting. Not only did his karma come in the form of what happened with him and Corinne, which I won't wish on anyone, he was blessed enough to overcome that, right? But then he decided to bury his little career that he had. Now, don't get me wrong. Chris Harrison does not have the final say when it comes to the franchise, okay? They have producers and other people. So if the producers are really dramatic and want to see drama, because drama equals ratings goes, then they might still give this guy a chance. But Chris Harrison been there for a long time. He's the face of the franchise, the face of the shows. So if he have any say in it, this guy just buried himself, and any chances of being back on TV or being connected, to the franchise, because they do give people a lot of opportunities, especially if you do your best to maintain a great relationship with them. I'm sure this guy, Demario, gonna go on and do great things in his life. Kudos to him. But let's go ahead and get into what he had to say, and it's gonna be a long one, but we are retiring to Mario, so enjoy the bonus episode. He responded that Chris Harrison is an a-hole. Yep. He said prior to the whole Corinne show, Harrison had a hard-on for me, as if I don't know, what is he, 16, 12, 13, what's up with the as if I hooked up with his wife or something. It was crazy. He continued, I met this guy 3 total times for less than 10 seconds, and he legit hated, when I say hated, if he said one more time, deep rooted. He continued, we had oh my gosh. He continued, him and I at the Men Tell All, we had 30 minutes of battle, and I'm oh my gosh, Demario, come on with the Bro, Lexi, I was already told they put her up to it. He's claiming that he didn't know Lexi, she was some strange random girl off the street that the show made up this whole story. Yeah, don't believe that. I was already told they put her up to it. Then he went to the press and talked all this ish when we were in the middle of all this. Right. So Harrison was on his press tour, and then, E News asked him about what he thought about Demario, and he responded, "He's a loudmouth, he's funny, it's Demario. You take him with a grain of salt for sure." And then he went into more details. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys just read this screenshot right here. And then Demario continued about after his season, after Rachel, his season on The Bachelorette with Rachel. He continued, "It was about Harrison. It was to the point where like again, for every time he said like, put $1 something away. I'll be rich if I was collecting money, boy." He continued, "It was to the point where like 100% I kept it real. I called Louis and said, if he tries this ish when I do the sit down with Corinne, I will knock him the F out. Like, period. Like, straight up." Wait. This is the man who was going to punch Chris Harrison in the face, but he's sitting here crying in front of him. Boy, bye. You see how people are? He's like one of those people on the internet, right? Talk so much junk online, but when they meet you in person, the reaction is so different. I don't care if he was crying about what happened and it was a sad situation. The type of mouth that he have on him make you not want to feel bad for him or what he went through. Like, this is the man you are going to sucker punch if you saw him, according to what Demario said on the podcast. But he's over here crying. Boy, bye. Okay, Mr. Like. First of all, you're not knocking anybody out. That's not going to happen. Second of all, this whole people wanted me to be mad because I'm a black man and react a certain way. Yeah, that would have been a great representation as a black man to knock someone out on, live television. And also to say this in the interview, it's like a threat. So good job on burying the last chances you had with your career. He continued, "I just don't like the blatant disrespect for a man that I do not know." Oh, disrespect. We talking about disrespect. Allen Iverson talking about practice. That's how this made me feel. Every chance this man gets to disrespect a woman, he does, as it relates to Rachel. He elevates one and disrespect Rachel, but have the nerve to talk about disrespect. Boy, bye. And then the next one, he continued, "Oh, another like. Oh, goodness. Like, bro, what is he? Like, what, 13? Got me saying like 2. Oh, I met you 3 times. It's funny because the media will portray certain people in certain lights and whatnot, but he had a crazy heart on for me, and I did not get it at all. It was nuts." Oh, he's not done. Right now, this guy leave his actual girlfriend for the show, but yet he's the Bachelor. Talking about the new Bachelor because of that. But Demario does it and it's different. So which one is it? Do you know Lexi? Was she your ex? Did they put her up to it? Or was she a random girl? Was it fake? Because you just admitted that the new Bachelor left his actual girlfriend for the show, but when Demario does it, is different. So he is a walking contradiction right there. Which one is it? You can tell liars, man. They can't keep up with this more. So here's what I am going to say. At this point, guys, the narrative is not going to change. Whatever. So I'm not going to feed into, the negativity and what he has to say, because at this point, it's really repetitive. He's saying the same thing over and over again in every interview. So I completely love every single one of you who's sending me the comments, the link, DMs about the interview that he did. But you can't keep feeding into negativity and then cry and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting all this hate." This guy continuing to badmouth people and literally end his own career himself, and he's doing it for himself. No one else is doing it for him. And Demario, one last thing, he always say that he's popping and making the media. Yeah, of course you're gonna pop when you show up on a red carpet with a woman who allegedly accuse you of sexual assault. Of course you're gonna pop, because people are like, oh, they're dating, they're together. People are curious. That's just what it is. And then I can't believe I'm talking about this after talking about everything else, and this just came in my feed, and I went ahead and visited Kenny's page, and I want to go ahead and acknowledge Kenny real quick. Kenny, I am so sorry. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm retiring Demario. There are people going through stuff, important things going on, and we're giving this guy attention. So no more. Kenny, my condolences to you and your family. It looks like his mom either had some form of cancer or something. She passed away. I'm so sorry for your loss, Kenny. He posted this beautiful image of his mom, and he captioned it, "She was my angel. She was tough, caring, witty, intelligent, bougie, hood, humble, and flamboyant, all in one person. A piece of me is so broken now. I will forever miss you. I love you, mama." Oh, we are so sorry, Kenny. Of course, Eric was on there. He left a comment. Alex also left a comment. Oh, speaking of the Rosebuds podcast that Demario was on, left a comment as well. So did Adam. He left a comment. So Kenny, you are in our prayers, and our condolences again to you and your family. Okay, my Vina loves, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I'm wishing you all an amazing day. And remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. Remember to please hit that thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and hit that notification bell so that when I do post, you are aware. Have a great day, guys. God bless.